Okay, so we're looking at a practical application, something that might happen in a real fight, close in. When I say real fight, I mean like self-defense situation. And this is out of the Seisan Kata of Uechi Ryu. So the jump back looks like this entry into shikodachi, jump back, forward, smash, snap, shoken. Okay, so what might actually be happening there? There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of little things to think about. And then there's a ton of different movements to try to unpack. So the first thing that I want to do is start from this. I'm not going to analyze any of this movement, but what I do want to show is when we start in close, something like this. You might see this in judo. This might represent a starting position after, can you swing a couple punches? We just come in like this and we get something along these lines, okay? So this is just a way of formalizing it from in here. My hands can be in a couple different places and that'll make a difference on what happens. I might have my hands underneath his. I might have one inside, one outside. One outside, one inside. I could have both hands on top of his. Okay, all that will make a difference. But generally, there's three movements we're unpacking from here. One hand sweeps low and across. One hand comes back. We have a knee lift. We also have movement backwards. Now, it's done as a jump nowadays. I was told that was a tournament change that was made, but originally it was a walk back. So it would have been performed this way. And then you would enter back in. That's what I'm going to look at. So if we're in a position like this, my hand behind his head is going to sweep back and hit him. I could do this as haito, as the ridge hand. And that's what it looks like to me in the kata, okay? So this hand back here plonks in here, all right? Now, it doesn't look like a lot. Go ahead, like tap yourself on the brainstem. It sucks. So I'm not expecting to knock him out with that and end the self-defense situation. But if I get something, if I rattle him, it makes everything that comes next a little bit easier. Okay? So in here, clonk, I hit him and I pull him. As I move him in and step back, I stretch him out. And then I have, boom, a basic knee. Okay? I haven't done the sweep across. Maybe I don't need it at all. Can you spin this way with me? Right now, this is hooked here. Okay? I could think about passing his arm. That's a very abbreviated motion, but I could think about passing his arm and circling to put him into some kind of shoulder lock. Something along these lines. It's there, but that would be departing just a little from what the kata shows. So what I would say, carrying on from here, I clonk him, I hit him, maybe this slips off. That's likely, okay? This isn't a great hold sometimes when the person's resisting. Or maybe he pushes in and tries to tackle me. Either way, this hand can sweep across. This is essentially a collar tie. I've redirected some of his energy, and I still have that knee, okay? The next movements, enter back in. What's next? I already have this control. I wouldn't need to do another circle block, but if I wanted, there's a strike. The circle block could serve as that strike. Get control. I've got three different applications, three different things that I could do from that position. And I have him in a much more vulnerable situation. His balance is broken. I'm striking vulnerable targets. I've grabbed him and tied him up, so I know that he isn't going to escape without a fight. And because I'm holding him, I'm much more likely to be able to strike him with precision in a vulnerable area. Okay? So one more time. We're starting from something like this. If he just fades back real quick and I straighten up, okay, here we are. That's right. So from here, I use this hand, boom, I hit him and I pull. That works, awesome. Bang, I've already got this hand. Do you see how his arm is adjusting this hand, and just keeping this grip, it shifted to a lower position and it grabbed. That looks like the kata to me. So in here, claws, stretch him out, bonk. Great. If his head's right in the middle, I can throw that circle block, and then I get something along those lines. I come across and hit, I come up and hit, and then my hand will circle to the other side naturally, and then I've got that elbow. Why am I elbowing my hand? There's something in the middle and I'm holding the other side of it. Okay? You might have a position where you tried to do this, his arm's in the way. Cool. Can you get any kind of lock from this position? Sweep it across and clear it, or trap it, hook it, and come into a position like that? Absolutely. I don't have to salute at that point though, okay? Could I knee here? Yup. What happens if I enter back in for my stance? Stomp, okay? So I wouldn't have to elbow. I skip that part in that case, but I don't need it because the rest of the application has already worked, okay? So there's a couple ideas for unpacking this movement, and it can just keep getting more and more complicated. What if his arm's here? What if it's there? What if you want to apply this lock? What if you want to use the technique in this way? There's so much more that we could talk about, but that's what occurs to me having looked at and thought about this movement for a little while. So hopefully